Hello, I'm Jenny Connor. I live at Dalton Moor Farm in Daltonley Dale, near to Seaham in the east of County Durham in the UK. I moved to the farmhouse here on Dalton Moor in 1992 when I first moved to work in Sunderland, and I didn't have land around the house at that point in time. I just had the old farmhouse. So now I've got about 24 acres of land. I've planted now 4 different orchards. I've got about 400 fruit trees in the orchards and an awful lot of fruit trees in the hedges. Mostly apples in the orchards with a mix of varieties to make cider. And I forage from the other hedges as well for additional wild ingredients to put into my products here at the farm. And haulberries are really calming. They lower your blood pressure and reduce your heart rate. So they're a bit like beta blocker medicines. So they're good for if you've got something that's making you nervous, like an exam or an interview. Have a bit of haw juice before you go. So this is the rewilding field, which is about 12 acres. And so this is a mixture of short grass, long grass, scrub, trees, and there will be ponds as well in here. And we're seeing return of wildlife. We put wildlife cameras out just to check what's out and about sometimes. And we've seen foxes and deer and badgers and lots of little tiny mammals, all the little mice and voles and things, but also stoat. I originally thought I wanted animals on my farm because I'd always loved animals and grown up with stories about animals. My dad grew up on a farm, worked on farms as a young lad, and my mum grew up with a small holding in the back garden. So I'd always heard about animals and loved animals, and I wanted animals on my little farm. So I was going to have goats and pigs and chickens and maybe some geese. And then I started researching exactly how this animal farming thing works, which I kind of knew already in my head because I'd grown up being told about it, but I didn't really understand it in my heart until I started getting closer to the nitty-gritty of how to farm animals. And I asked questions of other farmers about how they lived with themselves taking their animals to market for slaughter. And they told me that I shouldn't name my goats because then I wouldn't get so attached to them and it wouldn't be so sad. And then I realised that the baby goats are taken off their mums because we want to sell the milk and they don't get to drink it, and actually most of the male goats are slaughtered. And so it was a very short step from there, realising if I couldn't do this, why would somebody else do it for me? And that was really hypocritical, so it was a very short and easy step to be a vegan farm from there and to be a vegan myself. So now I make cider, apple juice, other fruit juices, apple cider vinegar, and a wide range of sweet, savoury and fermented preserves from our cultivated and foraged ingredients. We make a special vegan honey, which is not made by bees but made by me, and I make that from berries and flowers, and it actually replicates all of the good properties of Manuka honey but without stealing the honey from the bees, and it has actually got a honey flavour note in the lovely flavour palette as well. Our business is green, by which I mean we've checked every step of all of our processes and activities to make sure that they're environmentally friendly as much as possible. We try to buy things from local suppliers if we can, or otherwise we make sure that they have very green credentials. So all of our suppliers have been checked. We have just won highly commended in the Natural Environment category of County Durham Environment Awards 2020. So I'm doing my little bit here with my 24 acres in my corner of East Durham to try to improve the environment and also to help people become more aware of how they too can support the environment and live more sustainably, and to give them the power to effect change. And so that's what I'm hoping to do with the School of Sustainable Living and Wellbeing, is to empower people to make those small changes, to be better able to look after themselves, to find and grow and make their own food, their own clothes and homewares, and just to look after the environment better.